Hello everybody, this is Jean, Pow Barabjagal. I wanted to do a video that was on recent music and music-related things that I've been picking up as far as ordering online or going to thrift stores or even going to sort of a record store that's near my house. I know that you probably know I've been making a lot of videos about guitars lately because I've been buying guitars, and I'm still probably going to be buying guitars. It's been really interesting because I'm learning about some music at the same time, kind of historical and things related to some of the guitars I get interested in. So I'll try to explain that. But I bought a book that's a guitar book I wanted to show you. It's called Pearls and Crazy Diamonds. It's the first 50 years of Burns guitars. And Burns, that's the Burns Bison right there. So they kind of have this look to them where they have these sort of oversized horns. That's kind of the classic Burns guitar, and you can see that that one has like 4 pickups on it. It's just crazy. But they were kind of a British company that was competitive with Fender. So a lot of things kind of look like a very strange looking Stratocaster design. And it's really a great book because I'm interested in these guitars. I'll probably wind up getting one. The author is in Holland, I think, and he's a Burns guitar collector, and he autographed the book to me when I ordered it from him. And it's got some really nice, well, there's a part on different people who played Burns guitar. So you can see Elvis had a Burns guitar. That was one of his favorites. He had a 12-string that they called the Double Six. And of course, different people over the years. The big famous band that played Burns were the Shadows, Cliff Richard's backing band. So I've been kind of getting some Shadows records and learning a bit more about their guitarist, Hank Marvin, and things like that. And then also, I guess on here, they say they have pictures of the Beatles, where I think George had a new sonic bass at one point. Slade, the 60s British glam rock band, had a Burns Flight, which is a really strange looking guitar with wings. I mean, it has wings on the guitar, not Paul McCartney wings. So there's the Flight. So yeah, I've been kind of into that. And just really, this book is kind of a treasure for learning about these unusual guitars. And I think I also mentioned that the pickups from a Burns guitar is what Brian May of Queen used to build his guitar, the Red Special, with. But they have a really bizarre headstock, a lot of them, this scroll that kind of looks like the top of a violin. And then there's, strange settings where things are out of phase or in series or whatever. And there's a setting called Wild Dog where it's kind of it's a famous Burns thing. The Searchers. The Searchers were another band that used them. But one of the things I remember as a kid on TV was a 60s show that I saw some reruns of called The Thunderbirds. And they were, like a marionette puppet kind of show where they're fighting international crime and whatever by flying in jets and things like that. But there was a movie called Thunderbirds Are Go, and there's a scene in it where they go to a space age club in the future, and there's like the descendants of Cliff Richards and the Shadows have a band there. So they have these little marionettes of Cliff Richards and the Shadows with their perfect little Burns guitars. And there's a compilation of Shadow stuff I got that kind of parodies that album, that movie, and you can see this, they're all on the car and they've got their Burns guitars. But this is a cool compilation. Really good Shadows 45s compilations. You know, they're kind of this instrumental type band, and then Cliff Richards, of course, was kind of like a more showbizy Elvis Presley imitator, who had tons of hits in England and really didn't do that the same sort of get the same sort of recognition in the States, but people in the UK know who he is. So yeah, I've got another Shadows comp I got with Hank Marvin there. This is actually more kind of later stuff, and I think some more his solo stuff, and some re-recordings of Shadows songs. So he's kind of known actually for a red Telecaster, and then when the red Telecaster I think got stolen or destroyed or something, then they got the Burns guitars. But still, he had a red Burns that was like his red Telecaster too. I watched a documentary on Joe Meek, which goes along with a lot of this. Joe Meek was the English producer who was behind a number of hits. In a way, he was kind of like a British Phil Spector, but much more kind of space agey sort of stuff. Telstar was by the Tornadoes was the real big hit that you think of as having that Joe Meek sound, where it sounds really kind of, you know, it's a different sort of wall of sounds, space age. And this comp is from 1959 to 1966. It's a double album, so I was glad to get that. Also, I went and saw Booker T, so I got a Booker T and the MGs 5 CD reissue of their early albums. So that goes kind of with my instrumental thing here. And I just got, I had got this Ventures comp, Walk Don't Run. Again, it's really good comp of the singles. Oops. Sorry, I'm reflecting here. Probably can't see it that well. There. So those are the tracks on this one, Legendary Master Series. I also just got a Dwayne Eddy comp. And again, this is like a 3 CD, 45s, and all the singles from 1957 to 1962. And boy, over and over again, when I read a lot of the, British Invasion guitarists, they were really influenced by Dwayne Eddy, because his instrumentals were very making guitars cool. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for here. Is another band that I have a comp that I've had for a long time is Johnny Kidd and the Pirates. And I know Johnny Kidd was killed in a car accident, I think in 1966. But then the Pirates sort of had a later career around the time of the punk movement. And I've just ordered a LP called, I think, Out of Our Skulls, that I know is supposed to be, part live and part studio, but a really good album. And there's a couple other albums around that period I'd like to get. But I've never heard the later Pirate stuff. I have some friends who are really into the Pirates, though. So, and I like Dr. Feelgood, especially the original first few albums with Wilco Johnson. And they were, incredibly influenced by the Pirates, as far as guitar sound and, you know, rock and roll British sound. So that's all kind of goes with the whole kind of pre-Beatles alongside the Beatles instrumental era. So as I've been learning about these guitars, you know, your Fender Stratocaster types and Telecasters and Burns, they're single coil guitars. So I've been watching some YouTube channels, or there's a YouTube channel called 60 Cycle Hum, which is what you get with a single coil guitar if you have, say, electronics in the room, like overhead lights or something. It hums. Later, they came up with humbuckers, which are, you know, two pickups wound next to each other, which cancels out the hum. But a lot of people love that single coil sound because it's usually brighter and sharper, and it's the sound of all these instrumental groups. It's the sound of the surf music bands. That plus reverb and, you know, the tremolo kind of sound. So I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of looking into, you know, all that sort of stuff. And my friend Mike is really into surf music. He was when I was a kid, and he used to loan me punk rock records and stuff, but he was also into surf music, and especially the instrumental stuff. And there was a surf revival that was happening kind of with the punk movement in California in the early 80s. And there was a band called the Surf Punks, which I remember him having records by, and I always thought they were kind of ridiculous, but, you know, funny. So he liked the Surf Punks. He also liked Agent Orange, which, again, are like a surf-influenced punk band. So I picked this up. I've never had this before. I remember him having Agent Orange EPs, though. And then another band from that time was John and the Night Riders, and they're kind of more traditional rather than the whole punk thing. But again, they're supposed to be a really good surf band. So kind of learning about that. What else have I picked up? Well, I went to see Paul McCartney, and I went to see Bob Dylan. So I've been listening to, you know, their catalog, and I grabbed a couple albums I didn't have before. I got the new Dylan album, Rough and Rowdy Ways, which is really good. I was at a record store the other day, and there was a Jimmy Rogers record that had a song, Rough and Rowdy Ways, on it. So to me, that's where he got that title. I hadn't really realized that till I saw that. And of course, he named something after a Jimmy Rogers song or album. I almost bought it, but I had limited funds, so I just got a couple of things. I may go back and get that one. Also got Bob Dylan Trouble No More, which is a 2-disc live album from the Slow Train Comin' era. And as much as I've played, I've gotten, I think, about halfway through the first disc. This is really good. I really like this live album. So looking forward to, it's 1979 to 1981 bootleg series. It's just incredible, all the stuff that they put out for Dylan. There's so many good releases. And I also was, I got my favorite Birds album, which I haven't had in years, Younger Than Yesterday. Got this through eBay or something, through the mail. So haven't played it yet, but looking forward to playing that with some bonus tracks even. I used to play that album a lot. I went to a couple of thrift stores and found some $2 CDs. I have been meaning to get Jeff Beck's Truth, and I found that. So thrilled to get that. I found a Robbie Robertson solo album that I don't know. I found a Scissor Sisters album, which I have another one of their albums and I like them, so that is cool. I also got some jazz albums. They had a Best of John Coltrane album. Here's what's on it. I will say this over and over, I am not real comfortable with jazz, but I try. I pick up things and now and then I actually listen to them. But since getting a bass and learning more about bass guitar, over and over the name Jaco Pastorius comes up. So I bought a, kind of like career sampler 2-disc Rhino set. So now that I've read the book and have learned more about him, I realize, oh, he's all over those Joni Mitchell albums I know, and, was part of Weather Report, which I've always meant to get Heavy Weather, so I'll probably get that soon. And then Pat Metheny. So I was somewhere also in the thrift store, there was a Pat Metheny album, so with Charlie Hayden, who, I at least have heard of Charlie Hayden. So I thought that would be good to pick up. So now I have 2 Pat Metheny albums. Another thing that was at the thrift store for $2 was the Magnolia soundtrack. I have a couple Amy Mann albums and have kind of been interested in learning more about her. And this was kind of like a big album for her, I know that. And I believe John Bryan is on it too, and he kind of interests me as far as a power pop guy. So looking forward to that one. I used to have this album. I love this album. Suzanne Vega's 99.9 Fahrenheit degrees album. I really like her first 5 or 6 albums. And then I kind of haven't kept up with her. But I've seen her live in the past and met her. And yeah, I just think she's one of my more favorite 90s singer-songwriter female people. Also at the thrift store were 2 William Burroughs CDs, which I think I actually used to have these. So since they're really a pretty uncommon thing, I think they were priced at like $5.99 or something each. But, that's the kind of thing that is not, you don't see every day on CD. So I picked both of those up. I had a friend who was really into William Burroughs and all the beats. So I'm, fairly familiar with William Burroughs. I've read a number of those books, though not lately. And the other thing that I've got were some LPs over here. So like I was talking about surf stuff, I ordered this off eBay. Golden Summer. So this is supposed to be, in the 70s, the Beach Boys kind of had a comeback where they had, I think the double album was called Endless. No, the double album was it called Endless Summer? What was it called? My brain. Anyway, famous hits album, kind of revitalized their career again for a while. Really sold hugely in the early 70s. But in the wake of that album, there were, like Jan and Dean put out a double collection. There was this collection, which is kind of, greatest hits of the surf era. So it's got a lot of the surf instrumentals that I'm kind of interested in hearing right now or having. So I know that's supposed to be a good one. And then when I was at this funny record store where it's like records on consignment from a couple of record dealers, and then you can buy ice cream there. And kind of kitschy pop art lunch boxes and things. So I go to that place every couple months to go through their records, because there's always stuff I'll buy. It's just some of it's cheap, some of it's not. This is a James Bond double album of, you know, like the John Barry songs and the big theme songs from the whole Sean Connery and 60s era. So, you know, it's got like Goldfinger, and it's got, it's got From Russia with Love, and Diamonds Are Forever. We Have All the Time in the World, sung by Louis Armstrong. You know, it's kind of your real classic James Bond compilation soundtrack. And I remember my friend who was really into James Bond had this. So I'm glad to get this. It was $15, which I think is a real good deal, given that the records are in great condition. There's a little kind of dinged up corner there. Somebody's cat got to it or something. But glad to get that. And then there was this, which, you know, this used to be a really expensive record. So it's kind of funny it was priced at $1. I mean, the vinyl isn't mint, but the vinyl isn't that scratched. Really obscure, strange 60s comedy, because it had one hit, you know, They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha. But this still has like the original shrink wrap on the LP cover. But of course it's been opened and played, but still, that's just kind of, I used to see this album like on record store walls for $100. So, you know, I'm going to pick it up for $1 to have it and throw it in my comedy albums. Kind of blew me away that that was there for $1, but, you know, I can spend $1 on that. This was the other thing I got there. I've been on a big Marillion kick. So I used to play this album all the time, and this is a promo copy that was, or stamped copy. So it was $15, and it's in perfect shape. And I love the artwork because it relates to the other Marillion songs and albums. Like here, it's got a chameleon and the magpie and the jester and all that kind of stuff that you see on their other albums. So I was really glad to get that again. And this I got at a thrift store for $3. Oldies but Goodies music game. It has 2 cassettes in it. So I have to play this with someone who has a little cassette player, but I'm going to take it over to my friend Rob's and we're going to play it. I'm not playing those ahead of time because, you know, you don't want to cheat. You don't want to know it when your friend doesn't know it. So like I was saying, I've been getting Marillion stuff. I've been getting a lot of it through the mail. And I'd also, before I do that though, when I went to see Paul McCartney, I had gotten several Paul McCartney albums ahead of time. So I was playing those, and I got this George Harrison live in Japan, and then a little while ago I got Cloud 9 as well. So yeah, those are recent acquisitions, enjoying those albums, and glad to go to that show. Okay, here's about the end. I've got a bunch of Marillion albums. I haven't played that many of them. These 2 I had already. I had these nice editions of Script from a Jester's Tear. Again, it's the same artwork, and you can see that there's a chameleon back here behind the jester, and there's a chameleon on that other artwork, and, you know, it's kind of, on this one, Fugazi, there's the magpie, there's the magpie and the chameleon that are on the other one too, and there's the song She Chameleon, and there's the chameleon hand coming through the television, and, you know, I just like their whole aesthetic and art stuff, and I miss those albums. But I also got some Fish albums. I wrote to Fish's website and purchased a couple things, and I'm hoping to purchase some more. This is the Marillion's last album with Fish was called Clutching at Straws. And this is a live package from where he toured with his own band doing Clutching at Straws. And again, the artwork is all by the same artist, and the packages are really nice, and it's pretty cool. I have yet to play this. I need to play this. There's so much I need to play. But these packages are awesome, and I wanted to get them while I could. So I got that, and then I also got a recent album of his, not the most recent, which I plan to get, but I got this through his website, which is A Feast of Consequences. And again, it's a book with the incredible artwork throughout it and the layout, and looks really amazing. I can't show it that well, but Fish. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to catch up on this. So through eBay, I got this 2 CD comp of Fish solo tracks that are up to 1998. So, you know, significantly before that. And then I have a few other Fish albums I'd gotten from eBay a while ago. And then I got, you know how you can go on and buy like a lot of CDs where they're selling, say, 4 or 5 of the same artist, and sometimes that's a good way to get some CDs you're looking for cheap. So, you know, they had like Misplaced Childhood without the cover in that lot, but there were other things I wanted in the lot, like their live album, Thieving Magpie, which is a 2 CD live album. And I got Holidays in Eden in that lot too. So this is a early 90s Marillion album when they were on IRS Records briefly. And then I got 2 really good ones that I still need to listen to. I got Fear, and I got a nice edition of Marbles with a book. So, yeah, I've got a lot to catch up on. But hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to wrap it up and go to bed. Have a good night. Bye.